start my day with love. Wanna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I choose love, love, love. Love, love, love. I choose it, love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. Peace, 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 peace. I feel it, peace, 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 peace. I choose peace, 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 peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I choose joy, joy, joy. I feel it, joy, joy, joy. Every day it's joy, joy, joy. I'm choosing joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy, and I feel that sweet release. I start my day.
Good morning. Welcome to the Celebration Center. My name is Irina Kurashevich, and I'm a practitioner of the center. I welcome you today, our Senior Minister, Reverend Chris. She is traveling due to, I would say, very pleasant family reasons, so we wish her well on this beautiful Sunday, wherever she is. We continue our 2021 global theme that what came from the Centers for Spiritual Living, and all the centers are following that makes us more one. So the global theme for 2021 is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. Our October theme is Going Further Together, and we continue that. With that, I would love us all to silence our smartphones or just our phones, that no one is bothering us during the service. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce everyone who is participating in the service today. Our guest speaker today is Dan Granda. He is coming back to us. He was here speaking to us when he was in ministerial school, and now he's a full minister, real minister. So we're absolutely glad to have you back, Reverend Dan. We at that time we knew that day will come. You will become a minister one day. So welcome. Our music today is All Angles, and our music director, Lynn Holyfield, Nancy Newman, and Hannah Soar and Jen Fay. We're always blessed to have them. And of course, behind all the technical equipment is Ivor Tillotson. So thank you. And I am so grateful for everyone who is here in person and who is watching us, because you are here with us, and without you, this service wouldn't be possible. So thank you very much. Announcements. We have several things going on. It looks that this whole month will be very busy. The first thing is that on this coming Thursday, on October 14th at 4 p.m., October 14th, 4 p.m., it will be on Zoom and in person. We will be having a memorial service for our beloved practitioner, Suzanne Delahaye. So please join our community for celebrating life of Suzanne. Important information: if you would love to become a new member of the Celebration Center, please come and participate in the foundation class. There are two opportunities to do that. It is October 13th and October 20th. It will be on Zoom from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So there are two opportunities. Please find one and become a member of the Celebration Center. And on October 24th, we will be celebrating our new members during Sunday service. At the same day, on October 24th, Zootopia movie screening will happen in Hyde Hall. If you haven't seen this wonderful cartoon, it's an animated movie, please come and watch it. It's absolutely fabulous, it's hilarious, it's smart. Please come and see. It will be shown right after the service at 12:30 p.m. And the annual meeting, an important meeting, as we all know, that when we get together and discuss the future of the Celebration Center, will take place after the service on November 14th. So please join us. Okay, if you are here for the first time and would like to introduce yourself, just raise your hand and we will let you introduce yourself. Okay, yes.
I'm here for the second time. My name is Cheryl Hollis, and I have been a member at Newthought-CSL and Lake Oswego, and now I am here.
Yeah, welcome Cheryl. We have Cheryl here. Thank you for coming back, I would say. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, and if you're watching us online, please make a comment, just put an emoji, whatever. Just let us know that you are here with us. You're important, remember that. And we would love to know who you are and where are you from, of course. And with that, I invite us all to go to our vision that we recite every Sunday. As a group of people came and created that in love for our centers, the members of the center, of course. Take a deep breath and read with me our vision. We are celebrating spirit within, knowing the oneness of humanity. Thank you.
Is this on, Ivor? That is called Grateful for Gratitude by Marcy Baruch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy Mother, Father God, thank you for your healing love. Holy sacred light divine, thank you for this life of mine. Here I go. Whoa, whoa. I am grateful for the air I breathe. Whoa, I am grateful for the life in me. Whoa, I am grateful to be renewed. Whoa, I am grateful for gratitude. Grateful for gratitude. Grateful for gratitude. And being here with you today makes me come alive and say, we are here and we are part of the one infinite heart. This I know. Whoa, whoa, I am grateful for the air I breathe. Whoa, I am grateful for the life in me. Whoa, I am grateful to be renewed. Whoa, I am grateful for gratitude. Grateful for gratitude. Grateful for gratitude.
Thank you so much, all Angles and Lynn. As you know, as I already mentioned, I'm practitioner of the day. And every Center for Spiritual Living have a practitioner core, and the whole organization has the practitioner core, because this philosophy is based on the conviction that prayer works. And practitioners are the praying arm of the centers. So with that, I invite you to give us an honor to pray with you. So please fill up the prayer request. If you are here with us, you can do it on a green card. You always can submit it online. You can do it on our website or just email it to prayer@celebrationcenter.org. Practitioners will be praying with you for a week. You always can reach out to a practitioner and have a practitioner session. After the service, practitioners will be available for the what we call 1-minute miracle to pray with you. With that, I would love to read the piece that I found. I was looking for, I listened to what Reverend Chris had to say for her ministerial muse and the topic, going further together. And I was looking through different sources and nothing resonated with it. But I remember that Reverend Raymond Anderson wrote the whole daily chapters, those daily reading, daily guides in Science of Mind magazine for September. And I said, well, Reverend Raymond always has a wisdom for me. And I was right. So thank you, Reverend Raymond. That's what he put for one of the daily guides. This reading is from Callis U. DeConnick, from Captain Marvel, Volume 1, In Pursuit of Flight. Always dreaming of higher, further, faster, always more. The Lord put us here to punch holes in the sky. And when the soul is born with that kind of purpose, it'll damn sure find a way. We are gonna get where we're going, you and me. We will be the stars we were always meant to be. And Reverend Ray provides us with affirmation that he wrote himself. I reach higher because God is ever-expanding consciousness. And what is I am. My words, my feelings, my life demonstrate this expansion. And I invite us all to pray. In this moment and every moment, I know that God is. God is all there is. There is no place in the universe when there God is not. And I know that there is no God and, as there is only one substance, one essence, and it is God. And God is love, God is peace, God is joy, God is abundance and prosperity. God is that creative power that is behind everything. It is constantly creating. And as I recognize that God is all there is, I know that I am. I'm one and inseparable from the divine. And from this oneness, I know that everyone who is here listening to this prayer is one. One with the divine, with love, with peace. I know that each and every one is a perfect expression of the universe, is a co-creator of a beautiful reality, that it's happening right here, right now, and forever. And I know that each and every one manifests joy, beauty, wholeness, integrity, peace. I know beautiful relationship, perfect employment. I know health. I know laughter. I know peace. I know resolution of all conflicts, if there are any. I know safe travels, full of joy. I know that all dreams, as the prayer request, are already fulfilled in the perfect mind of God. As each of us was created to become a star. And I'm so grateful to know this truth. I'm so grateful to know the power of my word. I'm grateful to know that God is, that I am. I'm grateful to know oneness of each and every one with the divine. I'm grateful to know the co-creation power. I'm grateful to know this congregation, this philosophy, this teaching. I'm just grateful. And from this deep gratitude, I release my words into the law, knowing that they're already done in the perfect mind of God. And this is mine to release, to surrender, to let it be. And I do it easily and effortlessly, with great gratitude. And this is so, and so it is.
Okay, I'd like to do an original song for you. This is called Fall to Grace. We all are human. I hear you cry. Sometimes we let it out. Sometimes we hide it. This thread so common. Together we are strong, and we'll lift the weight of your burden and help you move along. Now don't you worry, step through your fear, never knowing your strength is near. Tumbling, twisting, turning round, a gentle fall to grace. that cradles as you stumble and settles you in place. Sunlight waning, darkest night, the stars are all aligned. Live your truth, step back to see, be surprised at what you'll find. I hear your laughter in the wind. It echoes loud and long, invites me in. These autumn days and starry nights floating in the breeze, a warm embrace soon, lullabies not ready to leave. We all are human, I hear you cry. Go on and let it out, no need to hide it. We're all together in the weave, woven close and strong, and we'll lift the weight of your burden and help you move along. We'll be moving right 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 along.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, fantastic. Wow. So it is amazing to be back here. It feels like it was worlds ago that was able to visit for the first time, and it really wasn't that long ago, and yet worlds are different. So it's really good to be back here, and we are talking about sharing the dream, and this is week 2 of Zootopia, which is a super fun movie by Disney, and it will be shown here in a couple weeks, so do plan on attending that. Check that out if you aren't thinking about it already. Just curious, how many have actually seen the movie yet? Okay, cool. 2 of us, great. I have a lot of notes, a lot of description about the movie, so don't worry. We'll get into all the really important details. The reason why we're talking about this movie is because it is an amazing modern parable of the creative process, the subjective mind, of cause and effect, of how our beliefs actually play out and create the world in front of us. Hey. And so it is a fantastic way to see in action how all of those thoughts in our mind come together and play with each other, and sometimes argue with each other and chase each other and track each other down and try and outdo one another to create what it is that's in front of us. So to catch you up from last week, week 1 of Zootopia, Share the Dream, we find out that in this world of Zootopia, it's an animated cartoon. They're all animals. So we have all of these mammals living together in this city and farmland and this whole world of animals where we have very much humanized these creatures, and they speak to each other in English, of course. And but it's a lot of fun, and we find out in the very beginning of the movie that in the not so recent past, predators and prey were against each other, and the predators were always out to get the prey. It is said in the movie that predators have an uncontrollable biological urge to maim. Yeah. And yet, in the present moment in this movie, everyone has evolved to the point where predators no longer feel this urge, and predator and prey get to live in harmony in this big city, and it's this big mixing of every animal you can possibly imagine with all of the necessary biomes and habitats and everything. So in Zootopia, predators and prey live in harmony. We have met the main character, Judy Hopps, who is a bunny, and she is this bunny with really big ideas. We met her parents, who are also bunnies. They are the typical off at the farm carrot farmers, and are very much against the big city life. And we have also met this childhood bully fox, who reminds Judy, as a child, reminded her very regularly that foxes are still the enemies of the bunnies. And so, of course, Judy ignores all of this, ignores her parents, ignores the fox, and says, no, I'm going to live my big dreams and move off to the big city and become a police officer. So we've made it up to the point where Judy attends the police academy and, of course, fails everything miserably because she's this big and all of the other police officers are these monstrously sized mammals, predators, and she's this little bunny, right? And so it's this montage of her being yelled at and screamed at for failing all the obstacles, and you think there's no way she's going to make it because you can't be a cop. Her parents even have reminded her at some point, there's never been a bunny cop. You can't be a bunny cop. That's not going to happen. And so, of course, she ignores them and uses that as fuel then to pursue this training. And, of course, by the end of the montage, is now the best of the class, graduates as valedictorian, and is the first ever bunny police officer. And so it's a lot of fun. I think you can see that already. But the important piece of all of this is to recognize that the movie, actually every character in the movie is one of our thoughts. So this whole entire world becomes this parable of our mind, of our creative process, right? How we take thoughts, speak them out into the world, think them out into the world, believe them out into the world, and watch as these create. So the entire movie, at least certainly this section of the movie we're going to talk about today, is the inner workings of our mind through this creative process. What does it look like? What is happening in our minds as we have a new thought, right? We are a new thought organization. So as we have a thought that is new to us, a new thought, what actually happens? How does that actually transpire? And how is it that we know there's power in our word? Every word that we think and speak has power, and yet not every word that we say or think or have immediately creates that exact thing in front of us, and why not? Well, there is this very nuanced process that happens, which is perfectly demonstrated in this movie, about how when we have a new thought, anything unlike that thought tends to come up to the surface and say, I don't know, you really believe that. You might want to think about that one again. Not really sure. And so what we find is that as Judy is this representation of the new idea, she is this new idea. No, I'm going to do this thing that's never been done before. I'm going to go to the city, become the first bunny police officer, which she does. Her parents being our default thinking system, those thoughts that we're given, right? Our parents care about us very much, and they want to keep us safe, ideally. And at the same time, the things that they give us, the tools they give us, the thoughts they give us as young children, often, maybe even always, stick with us long into adulthood as that voice in our mind that goes, don't do that thing. Don't do that thing. And so we have that voice in our head very often that limits us when I have this great idea. Well, but is that safe? Do you really want to do that? And then we have this default thinking, the larger picture. What does the world say about this idea? And so we have the sly fox and the dumb bunny, as it's talked about in the movie. The sly fox being the one You're not going to do that. And the dumb bunny, according to the sly fox, is the one going, yeah, I have this great idea. It's going to be great. So the sly fox is actually plays out as our ego. It's that voice, that personality inside of us, those patterns that we've developed a long time ago that say, this is what keeps me safe. This is that thing that I do that allows me to remain safe, not venture out too far, and we'll just keep everything status quo. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So we are at that point in the movie where Judy graduates from the police academy. She now is back home, letting her parents know she's graduated. They're super proud of her, but they also let her know how scared they are for her to become this police officer in this big city, this tiny bunny in this huge city with all of these different animals that they've never lived with before, they don't understand, they've never really seen before. So they try and subtly convince her not to actually go do this because it's going to be really dangerous. And at some point, her father goes to give her this going away present, and it's this box, and it has fox deterrent, fox repellent, a fox taser. And so she agrees to take the fox repellent just to make them happy. But this is our parents. This is that voice, our parents instilling in us that voice that says, life, it's going to be dangerous. You need these tools. You need to make me, the parent, feel better that you're going to be safe by taking these things. Please take these things so I feel okay. And then there is this voice that plays out. So Judy leaves for the big city. She gets on a train and off, away from the farm. Clearly, this representing the city is very far away from the farm. It's this far off idea, this distant place that we're going, and we're leaving the old ways behind, ideally. Are we really? Maybe not. So there is this great excitement around reaching this city. It is super energetic and joyful and happy. And then Judy moves into her first apartment that is tiny and run down and beat up, and there are paper-thin walls, and her neighbors are not nice, and they're yelling at each other and yelling at her through the walls, and she lies back in her bed and is like, I love it. It's so different, and it's so exciting. And as the viewer, you're watching, wow, that apartment is awful. The main character, this new idea, is in the midst of this going, this is amazing. And you're like, what? How is this amazing? This apartment is awful. But it's that joy of that new idea, that dopamine that kicks in when we have these great ideas, when we're off on these adventures trying to do these new things. And yet, when she goes to leave the apartment for the first time, she dashes out the door, and as she's doing this, she stops, looks back at the fox repellent on the table, thinks, nah, I don't need it, runs out, closes the door. Not even a split second later, the door opens back up. She runs back in, grabs the fox repellent, and runs out the door again. And there are those old ideas that we're really excited about this new thing until it starts to kick in, that we're actually doing something new. We're doing something different. And those old ideas creep in, those safety mechanisms start to kick in, that voice from our parents kicks in and goes, sly fox. So we go back in and we grab the fox, just in case. We don't really want to believe it, but just in case, we go back in and grab the fox repellent to make sure that we're safe when we go out. So it's now the first day on the job, and she gets to the police station, and they're in the bullpen getting their assignments for the day, and every other police officer in the room is this giant predator. There's wildebeests and buffaloes and rhinoceroses and tigers and lions, and then there's little Judy Hopps. And every other animal, every other officer gets assigned some major missing animals case, and she gets meter maid. So there is this clear bias from the world around us that your new idea is not even worth our time. And so while all of these old ideas are off doing the things that old ideas are supposed to do, because that's how the world works around us, we're going to keep this new idea out of the way. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's not going to get in our way. It's not going to interrupt any of our official police business. Just go write parking tickets. And so clearly there is this prejudice. Clearly she wants to be a real police officer, and being the meter maid is not that role. And yet she decides, all right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this for real. I'm going to be the best meter maid there is. And she goes off, and instead of wanting to meet her quota of 100 tickets a day, she's going to write 200 tickets by noon. And of course, she does that. So this quick little bunny is jumping all over the city, writing all of these tickets, and it's fantastic. While she is doing this, she happens to notice this shady, shifty-looking sly fox on the side of one of these streets sneak into this elephant ice cream shop. Why would a fox be going to yes, there are elephant ice cream shops because the ice cream has to be different sizes depending on what type of animal you are and whatever. So why would a fox be going? So, of course, here's this shady fox. So she sneaks and follows him in, and it turns out this sly fox has a kid who wants to be an elephant. So there's this little tiny kid in this little elephant costume, and it's his kid's birthday. He's bringing his son to this elephant ice cream shop to get this giant jumbo pop ice cream for his kid for his birthday. But the elephant shop owner is giving the fox this really hard time about why are you the fox in our elephant ice cream shop? Just get out of here. And so Judy, feeling guilty that she made this assumption about the sly fox, because here it is, it's just this dad trying to do good for his son. What a great guy. And here we have this elephant who's being so prejudiced against this fox. And so Judy finds some health code violation and says, well, I could let you off the hook for this health code violation if you start using snout gloves and, of course, give this man and his son this jumbo pop. And so they do. And so they have this really nice heart-to-heart moment as they walk out of the store, the fox and the bunny. And so she feels better about herself because she did this good thing for the fox, and the fox really appreciated it, and off they go. So a little while later that day, of course, she is now far beyond her quota of parking tickets, but continues writing and feeling great about herself because she is doing, as the overachiever that she is doing the best job that she can be doing. She notices that this same fox is standing up on a rooftop with this giant jumbo pop ice pop in this contraption that is allowing the sun to melt the jumbo pop and all of the juice running down the roof into the gutter with this giant container at the bottom and collecting all the juice. She goes, wait a minute, what? And starts to follow him, and maybe this fox is not exactly who she thought he was. And so she realizes that the fox and his accomplice, who used to be dressed up as the fox's son in this elephant costume, is actually this grown tiny creature, and they clearly have this racket going on, and she follows them around for a while, noticing, so they're melting this jumbo pop, bottling it up, they go to the snow biome, mold all of these icicle imprints in the snow, pour in the juice, freeze it with these tiny popsicle sticks, then go off and sell it to the lemmings coming out of their workplace, then go take the popsicle sticks that the lemmings are all recycling, go sell them to the mouse construction workers for building, walk away with hundreds of dollars and go start the same thing the next day. So she confronts him going, what the heck, man? Because she now clearly feels guilty because she made assumptions about this fox in the first place, that he was a sly fox. Then realizing he wasn't a sly fox, felt guilty about it. Now realizing that he pulled one over on her is furious. Our new ideas are appalled by our old ideas when they pull one over on us. Constantly. Our ego, this mechanism that we developed at such a young age, he even admits in the movie, the fox even admits in the movie, he's been doing this racket since he was a kid. He's been doing this his whole life, which is exactly what our ego would say. I've been doing this my whole life. It works. It keeps me safe. And our new idea, no, you can't. You don't want to do that. So, of course, she tries to arrest him for selling food without a permit, transporting undeclared commerce across borough lines, and false advertising. He then, having been doing this his whole life, provides a permit, provides receipt of declared commerce, and clear evidence that what he was selling was not false advertisement. And so our new idea hates this. And our ego, the old idea, he says in this movie, tell me if this story sounds familiar. Naive little hick with good grades and big ideas decides, hey, look at me, I'm going to move to Zootopia, where predators and prey all live in harmony and sing kumbaya, only to find out, whoopsie, we don't all get along. And that dream of becoming a big city cop Well, double whoopsie. She's a meter maid, and whoopsie number 3Z. No one cares about her or her dreams. And soon enough, those dreams die, and our bunny sinks into emotional and literal squalor, living in a box under the bridge until finally she has no choice but to go back home with that cute, fuzzy-wuzzy little tail between her legs to become a carrot farmer. And isn't that exactly what our ego said? Like, yeah, here's this big idea, and then we go, yeah, but it's always been this. The world has always said this. We've always needed this comfort, this way, these patterns, this habit. And so we try and convince ourselves so often, yeah, it's a great idea. Just don't believe in it too much, please. Just go back, do the thing you're supposed to do. Go back and be the thing you're supposed to be. He then says, everyone comes to Zootopia thinking they can be anything they want. Well, you can't. You can only be what you are. Sly fox, dumb bunny. And totally demoralized, she finds herself back in her apartment, totally beat up and run down with all these ironically sad songs playing on her radio. And all of this doubt sinks in. And of course, in that very moment of doubt, her parents call. Of course, why wouldn't they? And she picks up the phone and pretends to be happy. They ask her all about her first day on the job. And, oh, it was wonderful. Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. And they notice that she's wearing this bright orange vest. And they go, are you a meter maid? That's amazing. They're thrilled that this is the safest job she could possibly get on the police force. You'll be great. That's amazing. That's fantastic. You're the meter maid. And so very quickly she finds a great reason to get off the phone because this is not helping her at all. She wants to be a real cop. And her parents, so now we have the world around us saying, bunnies can't be real cops. We have our ego trying to convince us we're not really a real cop. We just need to go back to the carrot farm. And now our parents call, that voice in our head that says, oh, you're safe. You're doing the safe thing. That's fantastic. Don't actually go out and be a real cop. Do the safe thing. So the next day is awful. She gets up, she goes back to work, she's the meter maid again, and she realizes as she's trying to be the best her that she can be handing out these tickets, she realized that everybody hates the meter maid. Everybody hates getting parking tickets. You're the worst person, the worst part of their day. You're handing them the tickets for being 30 seconds overdue in their parking space. Go away. Leave us alone. So here we have the world again. Life, however, always gives us exactly what we are thinking, believing, asking for. She is doubting herself that she's a real cop. And so here she is in the midst of this ultimate meter maid scenario where she is the one handing out the tickets, the one making everyone else's day miserable. And so in a moment she is in her little golf cart thing, not real police car, pulled over, beating herself up, chanting, trying to convince herself that she's a real cop. I am a real cop. I am a real cop. I am a real cop. And this is exactly how our brains work. So as she's doing this with her eyes closed, smashing her head against the steering wheel, convincing herself that she, of course, is a real cop, a robbery happens at the store, the very store that she's sitting out front of, and she is completely clueless that this is even happening. The store owner comes running out, shaking her golf cart. Are you paying attention? There's been a robbery. And she's, what? Yeah, my shop, it just got robbed. Are you a real cop or not? Huh? What? And she, oh, there's a robber. She jumps up out of her car and starts chasing this robber down the street. Now she gets to be a real cop. Life presents that thing in front of us. I'm this thing. I want to, oh, I'm not. I do believe this. I don't believe that. All these doubts. And life's like, okay. Life doesn't know what to do with that, and it just pumps out the thing that we are doubting or questioning or whatever it is, the exact scenario that is running through our cop. I'm a real cop. I'm a real cop. I'm a real cop. Well, here's a chance to prove you are a real cop. Go chase down this robber. And so they're running all over the place and creating this huge mess of the town, almost trampling tiny mice and knocking over buildings and breaking shops and this disaster of a mess. And finally, she catches the robber and in the midst of this saves the life of this tiny little creature, and she feels like this amazing police officer because she has done the thing that real cops do. She caught the criminal, completely oblivious to the destruction that has just happened around her because of the meter maid running off and chasing this criminal. She feels great about herself. So often, we go off on these chases of this, to chase this thing, to prove to ourselves that we are that thing that we want to be. And it feels so great because we're proving to ourselves, yes, I am that thing. And yet, a real cop doesn't need to prove to themselves that they're a real cop. So someone who feels that they are not really a real cop, needing to run off on a police chase to feel like they are a real cop, how many more people did we endanger and threaten and almost destroy their lives by chasing this criminal? We caught the guy, we caught the robber, but we destroyed all this other stuff. We created this total havoc around us. And so often that is what happens to us in our minds when our ego says one thing and we have to disprove that. We have to go so far, it feels like. We have to go so far in the other direction to chase that rush, to feel like, oh yeah, I am that thing that I say I am, even though we have all these beliefs that say, maybe not. Maybe not quite. So she then she transports the robber back to the police station, shows up all proud of herself, drags him into the police station and goes, I caught the robber. And the police chief, you can hear in the background, screaming, Hobbs, my office now. And what? So she gets called into the police chief's office, and he is so obviously fed up with the idea that he is having to put up with this small-town bunny who wants to be a big city cop, ends up firing her. Tired of her delusions, tired of her thinking she can show up and get whatever it is she wants. He says, no one asked me what I wanted when they told me that you were going to be part of our police precinct. So he ends up firing her for abandoning her post, inciting a scurry, and reckless endangerment of rodents. And so she loses her job. In the exact moment that she is feeling like the biggest cop that she's ever been, the most amount of cop that she has been since she's graduated, and she ends up getting fired. And how often does that happen in our lives where we are doing all of the right things? We're doing all of the things that make us feel like we are that new idea. We're pursuing that dream. We're pursuing that new idea. And life goes, no. And we're like, what? And we start to question, does any of this work? What are we doing? When in reality, it is exactly the thing that we are creating, because if we are creating from that place, like Judy did, of doubt, if we are creating from that place of doubt, from that overall belief system of this is not true, this is not real, we get the lowest common denominator. We don't get that one dream. We get however many things we put into this subjective mind, whatever that boils down to at the end of the day, that combined belief, that is what we end up creating. The creative process doesn't create in front of us every single word that we speak out into the world. It creates the sum total of what it is that we put in through this filter of the subjective mind. And so Judy Hopps, doubting herself, knowing that the world is doubting her, is now at this place in the story where she has no idea what it means to be a cop. Doing the thing that she thought was the most cop is ended up being what got her fired. That ended up getting her fired from her dream. And she is so now in this place of doubt and question, getting thrown out of her job, out of the police chief's office. And unfortunately for all of us, this is a huge cliffhanger. You don't actually get to know what happens until next week. But I just want to leave you with, this is exactly how our minds work constantly. That we have these systems of thinking going on all the time. We have the subjective mind, the placeholder of memory of every event that's ever happened, of our beliefs, of the collective conscious beliefs. and how our thoughts and beliefs filter through that. We have our egos playing into that. We have all of the ways that we have been trained and maybe even domesticated, the voices of our parents, the voices of teachers growing up, and how all of that influences how we think. And so what we put in to the creative law is not always what we think we're putting into the creative law. So we will certainly find out next week. Tune in next time. No. We'll certainly find out next week. This does change, things turn around, and we do find out how to actually create the thing that we are desiring to create. Judy, I'll let you know this. Judy does become the real cop. She does become a real cop, but you'll have to come back and tune in next time to find out how that happens. So I would just like to bring this into a little bit of prayer let's just go in, close our eyes and go inward, to realize, to really embody, to embrace this idea that there's so much more going on behind the scenes than we recognize. And so knowing that there is this one infinite presence behind the scenes in every moment, constantly creating and recreating and sustaining this entire existence. I recognize that we are in no way separate from that. Even when it seems like it, we are in fact that thing that is creating. It is not a separate thing from us. It is what we are. We are the ones creating the thing. It is through us that life creates itself. And so I recognize that in this, there is a process that is far beyond our current recognition of self, of egoic self, of the seemingly positive and seemingly negative aspects of ego, of our belief systems, of those things that we have been told, that all of this is equally as God, as everything that shows up in front of us, knowing that it is creating exactly what it is that we need in order to pursue the thing that we are attempting to create, in order to pursue the vision, the dream of our life. And it is through doing our part to clean out this subjective mind, our subjective filter, cleaning out, picking out those, weeding out those ideas in the collective unconscious, subconscious mind, that allows us as individuals and a collective whole to move forward, to create new, to do things in different ways, to create those new ideas. It is through this internal process that we know as science of mind, the principles of the universe that allow us to continue this gardening process, the weeding out of old limiting beliefs, standing on the beliefs that continue to work for us and creating new ideas based on these that allow for unlimited collective growth. And so how much there is to celebrate in this idea of attempting to arrest old ideas and beginning the struggle of new idea and ego and old belief, allowing that to bubble up to the surface everywhere that we didn't recognize. We have a belief that seems to oppose this new idea. So how much there is to celebrate in this process of weeding out. How do we each follow our dream, create based on our dream, while holding ideas that seem opposing to that? How much there is to celebrate knowing that life itself, the process of life itself, is the process of confronting those old and limiting ideas that no longer serve us, of taking a long look, an internal look at those things that show up in front of us that seem like they would otherwise stand in the way, weeding those out and being able to create something new, something different, something that moves us forward to a greater expression of life. And it is for this that I am grateful to know that there is this ability to create a greater expression of life in every single moment. So I recognize that, I celebrate that here in this very moment, releasing that idea out into the world to simply just repeat that over and over, that there is the opportunity in every moment to express a greater expression of God, of the divine, of life, right here and right now. So I simply let that go out into the world, and so it is. Thank you.
Do a song that actually I'd like to thank Terry Murphy for suggesting this song. It's called "The Power Is Here Now" by Alexia Chelin.
What a wonderful, wonderful song. Thank you, All Angels. Thank you, Lynn. Let's give them more love. And let's thank our guest speaker today, Reverend Dan Granda. Thank you, Reverend Dan. I think he sold you all the Zootopia show, and you have to come. He didn't mention the scene in DMV. That's my favorite one. Okay, so we're talking about being who we are, going further together. And at this time of our service, we usually do practice participating in law of circulation, our sharing our blessings, our love to the center, to the community, to this world. So for the financial donations, we have several ways for you to do it. Please find one that is available and comfortable for you. You can write us a check and mail it here. You can bring it if you come here in person. You can go to our website and there is a donate button. We are participating or having, I don't know what's the right word to that, the breeze. It's a fabulous way to give. So please, please, please choose any way you would love to share your financial blessing with the center. And if you would love to share your other blessings, just talk to our senior minister, Reverend Chris Ashley, and I'm sure she'll find something fabulous for you to do. And with that, I would love us all to read an affirmation as we affirm our abundance and prosperity. So again, take a deep breath, feel the energy of that love circulating through you. And read with me. I open my heart to give and receive the blessings that our Spirit promised to me. As I do, the entire universe conspires to give me an abundant life. And I open to accept it. And so it is.
So once again, let us just turn within, close our eyes, return back to that place inward that knows that there has never been and never is actually anything that separates us from the all that there is. This reciprocal nature of the universe that we talk about and know so well, the way that God creates as itself and through itself in order to know itself, plays out in our lives over and over and over again. And so I simply recognize that in action right here and right now, blessing every single gift that any one of us is able to give, participates in giving, and recognizes as part of, intentionally as part of this divine flow. That it is by engaging in this law of reciprocity that we allow a more abundant flow of all that is divine moving through our life. It is our participation in removing blocks, in stepping forward, in bringing ourselves closer to that thing that we recognize as the expression of authentic and divine life. And so I recognize that these gifts that are given here today bless not only this center and the giver and the receiver, but also multiply outward in every direction. That this is not an isolated act, that this is something that mutually benefits the entire essence of creation in every direction. That this community, this center is blessed to have this amazing financial support, to have this amazing energetic support, to have this amazing support in mind, and that every single giver is supported tenfold in this way because of being able to pay forward in this manner this idea of abundance. That every single one of us are blessed by being able to receive. By giving, we open up this space to receive this essence that is created in a community such as this, the love that comes from a community such as this, the abundance and the simple, elated joy that comes out of being intentionally part of a spiritual community like this one. And so I recognize the blessing that happens here. I recognize that the divine law does what it does, and I recognize that this energetic flow is multiplied over and over and over again in every direction to inspire new growth in every direction, that it is deeply moving to be part of this energetic flow. It is so much more than money. It is so much more than just the giving. It is the whole process, that which we don't see behind the scenes, this invisible essence that is always moving for more of our good, that is always carrying us towards a greater expression of our individual and collective good. I am grateful for this. I share this gratitude with and for this community, knowing that it really is a blessing beyond that which is measurable. And so I simply release this word into law, knowing that outside, beyond time and space, all of this is already done, already figured out, already complete, and already benefiting everything more than we could possibly recognize. So I release this and let it go, and so it is.
Okay, we'd like to do a Donna Michael song. This is called Join Together. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in love. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in love. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in love. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in love. Love, 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 joined together, together in love. Love, 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 joined together, together in love. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in joy. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in joy. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in joy. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in joy. Joy, 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 joined together, together in joy. Joy, 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 joined together, together in joy. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in peace. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in peace. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in peace. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in peace. Peace, 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 joined together, together in peace. Peace, 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 joined together, together in peace. Joined together, together in joy. Joined together, together in love.
Yes. So I recognize that we do, in every moment, join together in peace and in joy, that we are brothers and sisters and more, that we are all the siblings of the divine in every way, every single one of us. However it is that we show up, we are all part of this divine collective. We are a family, and I recognize that we intentionally move forward from today in every way possible, creating in full recognition of the subconscious mind, the creative process, and how a new thought forms and comes to being, and we love on and bless this whole process in all of the ways that it shows up. So I recognize we move forward from this service, not just us, but in everyone that we come into contact with. Our lives are changed to express more of the divine in every way possible, and so it is.